This is your brand new week on Custom Street. Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent from the Nigerian Stock Exchange trading floor. Temple, let's get this done with. Okay, so we talked about last week. Yes, it was last week was a bit brutal, as it were, 1.24% just to start a very unhappy new year, as it were. So what's the outlook for today as we see through the first 1 hour of the opening bell?
I think, it's weeks in the run-up to the general election. The same kind of sentiment we saw last week will continue. We're going to see investors being, coming to the market with risk of stance against equities more. Instead, they may want to tilt towards the fixed income segment of the market, where you're seeing yields, rising, going up and coming down. Now that we know that a lot of the offshore investors have exited the markets, except for a few that are very speculative at the short end of the curve. So this is the kind of sentiment that we're likely to continue to see till the end of January and in the week running up to the general elections in February, Bosun.
Tempo, they said when there's a blood on the street, that's when to buy stocks. It's a very wacky thing to think that when there's blood everywhere, that's when you should step in and put your money. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's correct. It does. It makes sense to me. I mean, you come in at this point in time. I mean, we know the historical investors in markets, in stock markets globally, always come in when the prices are battered, and that gives them opportunity for profits when things like uncertainties are over. The uncertainty now being the election, which is in February. After the election and when the coast becomes clear for a lot of investors to come in the second half of the year, that's when you then want to reap the benefits of all of these funds or investments that you must have put on ground. But right now in the market, I think a lot of investors are still making efforts to quickly sell down on their holding, or probably reduce it to a level where they can now become comfortable in the market enough to go, to wait till the second half of the year, or what you call the third quarter of the year, when would have had seen clarity about the policy direction of whoever comes on board between APC and PDP, who are the major, they are the major parties that will be playing out in this election coming up. However, I think before I let you go, let me quickly bring you up to speed with some of the developments in the markets right now. A couple of notices being issued to the stock exchange. Sterling Bank, which is tradable here in the exchange, is changing its logo, tagging it with aiming from the sun. Sorry, aiming for the moon, moving away from aiming for the moon, which is what it's used to be known for, to the rising sun. So you're going to be seeing the logo of this company changing going forward. The company explains that this is to help it align with the strategic position of the administration in place. Of course, we know that Sterling Bank was a merchant bank here in Nigeria way back in the 1960s, and has grown itself with some good offerings, for both depositors and, of course, investors here in the market. We also have EcoBank explaining some kind of overstatement in its balance sheet and income statement, which we've seen in the media lately.
Temple, may I just raise a hand here? Okay, just a second. Temple, we'll just stick with the Sterling Bank, just to understand. But once this comes through the Stock Exchange Information Portal, we just have to let our viewers know, talk about aiming for the moon to the rising sun. If you look at the galaxies and the entire universe, you have the moon and you have the sun. The sun shines, it has its own whatever, then it's part. Then you have the moon as well. So Sterling Bank doesn't want to aim for the moon anymore, but to be the rising sun. What does that mean to you?
Rising sun. If you look at the performance of Sterling Bank last year, 2018, just concluded, it was really, really impressive. Year to date was the second best performing stock in the market. I think it rose about 102% or thereabout for the entire year. So it speaks to what we're seeing on this rebranding. And of course, you remember that the company has a new CEO and who is vibrant, a young person at that. I think if you put these two together, it speaks to where the company is going, both.
You know, when companies do rebranding and they choose names and logos and all things like that. And I saw that in the dailies this morning, and I saw something looking like a moon there, but it says the rising sun. So, of course, now you have Sterling Bank among the NSE 30 index. I think that is one rising that we will just give to Sterling Bank, whatever that means. Between the moon and the sun, Temple, go for one. I'll just go for anyone. I don't know where life exists, whether I will find myself on the moon anytime soon. Temple, thank you very much from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Aim for the moon. If you want to go to the sun, get ready. It's hot over there, but the moon seems to be a little bit cooler. Whatever that is, have a great business day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.